These political agents, I'm using the word very consciously, illegitimate leaders. The Muslim community was ready to hand it over. It was certain crooked political agents forced the communities to believe that is not the way to go about it, let us fight no matter what, anyway we are with you, government is with you, so we'll do this, we'll do that. They have become leaders for the wrong reasons from wrong source.
This a lot of imagination as to whom you might be referring.
It doesn't take much imagination anyway. So at the same time, like when somebody says 40,000, even if 40,000 things are given to you, are you capable of taking care of them?
No.
So that's not the point. So the point is where it matters for people a lot, where it is there in people's memory and there is substantial evidence, there is scientific data to show definitely this happened, then this should all happen in one shot rather than dragging through the courts one by one, so that the nation does not have to go through this confusion because there are illegitimate leaders. I'm using the word very consciously. Normally they would say self-serving leaders, but they're illegitimate because their leadership is illegitimate. They're leaders for the wrong reasons. They have become leaders for the wrong reasons from wrong source. If something is from a wrong source, then you say it's illegitimate.
A lot of imagination as to whom you might be referring.
Don't do that.
But I shall curb my imagination.
Please do that. It doesn't take much imagination anyway. So, they are trying to create this fear-mongering among communities and say, oh, you're whatever, this is against your community, this is happening, that's happening. As maybe you have also recorded and many others have recorded that even in the early stages of Ayodhya, post-47 I'm talking about, the Muslim community was ready to hand it over. It didn't mean much to them because it was not a great mosque for them. But they knew it is Janmastan, it was Masjid-e-Janmastan, it was called. So everybody knew it is on Ram's Janmastan. They were willing to hand it over. It was certain crooked political agents.
Marxist historians.
Who
must add them to the mix.
No. How do you call them historians? I call them political agents.
The same.
You call somebody a historian when they gather things from the past and try to put it together in a presentable manner. Not somebody who writes up things for their political agenda. That is not writing history, so you don't call them historians. These political agents force the communities to believe that that is not the way to go about it, let us fight no matter what, anyway we are with you, government is with you, so we'll do this, we'll do that. So unfortunate realities have happened in the past, but this is the nature of who we are. No matter what happened to us yesterday, because our icons are like this.
Namaskaram. India is a beautiful tapestry of cultures, languages and religions. However, beneath this diversity, there are instances where certain politicians exploit communal differences for their own gains. Today, we are delving into a concerning issue: the way in which some politicians confuse and manipulate the Muslim community in India, ultimately leading to discord and mistrust. Communal polarization is a tactic where politicians play on the fears and insecurities of different religious groups, including Muslims, through inflammatory speeches and divisive rhetoric. They sow seeds of distrust and animosity between communities. By portraying Muslims as a threat to the majority, they seek to consolidate their own power base, often at the expense of social harmony. During election seasons, it's not uncommon to see politicians making high-profile visits to mosques and meeting with Muslim leaders, While these gestures may appear promising, they often turn out to be mere political maneuvers. Once the elections are over, many of these promises are forgotten, leaving the Muslim community feeling neglected and disillusioned. Tokenism is a phenomenon where politicians make superficial gestures towards the Muslim community without addressing their underlying concerns. They may announce grand initiatives or welfare schemes, but in reality, little changes on the ground. This perpetuates a cycle of disappointment and cynicism among Muslims who feel used for political gain. Divide and rule is a tactic as old as political itself. Here, politicians exploit existing fault lines within the Muslim community, such as differences between sects or regional identities. By exaggerating these divisions, this weakens the collective strength of Muslims, making it easier to manipulate them for electoral purposes. Fear mongering is a sinister strategy used by politicians to instill fear and suspicion towards Muslims. Through sensationalized media coverage and alarmist speeches, they paint Muslims as the root cause of the societal problems, from crime to unemployment. This is not only a stigmatizes the entire community but also perpetuates hormonal stereotypes. Legal and policy measures can have a far-reaching implications for the Muslim communities. The Citizenship Amendment Act (CAA) and the proposed National Register of Citizens (NRC) has sparked widespread controversy, with critics arguing that they discriminate against Muslims and undermine their rights as citizens. Such measures only serve to deepen existing division and sow mistrust. Politicians often seek to exert control over religious institutions, including mosques and madrasas. By appointing pliant leaders and imposing regulations, they aim to influence the religious narrative and suppress dissent within the Muslim community. This undermines the autonomy of religious institutions and infringes upon the fundamental rights of Muslims to practice their faith freely. Despite assurance of development and progress, economic disparities persist within the Muslim community. High levels of poverty, lack of access to quality education, and the discrimination in the job market remain significant challenges. Despite promises of upliftment, many Muslims continue to struggle to make ends meet, perpetuating a cycle of marginalization and exclusion. Media plays a pivotal role in shaping public perception. Unfortunately, certain media outlets propagate negative stereotypes about Muslims, portraying them in a skewed and unfavorable light. This biased reporting not only reinforces existing prejudices but also alienates the Muslim community, exacerbating feelings of marginalization and alienation. During election campaigns, politicians often resort to division historic to appeal to certain voter demographics. They may use coded languages to target Muslims, portraying them as a threat to nation security or cultural values. This division rhetoric further polarization society and undermines the principles of secularism and inclusivity. It's imperative that we recognize these tactics for what they are, attempts to sow discord and division for political gain. By shedding light on these strategies, we can empower the Muslim community to resist manipulation and advocate for their rights in a more inclusive and equitable society. Thank you for joining us on this important journey. If you find this video enlightening, please consider sharing it with your friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Thanks for watching. Pranam.